The new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer dropped last week, and I think it's leading us down a potential problem. Endgame spoilers ahead, Iron Man dies, now onto the video. Now Iron Man's sacrifice in Endgame will obviously be the undertone for the film. Peter Parker will have to deal with the loss while juggling his spider responsibilities. Throughout the trailer there are plenty of nods to Iron Man's sacrifice, and theorists across the internet have hinted at Tony Stark returning in some way. Now, although I appreciate the relationship Peter Parker had with Tony Stark, I feel a return will ruin the loss in Endgame. The big sacrifice should be felt across the MCU, and just bringing back Tony Stark as easy as a new Jarvis, or even a projection or recording of his past self, like we saw in the ending of Endgame, will really soften his sacrifice. What's the point if you can come back that easy? The theory started coming in with this shot in the trailer. Peter Parker wearing glasses similar to the one Tony Stark wore in Infinity War.
It means get lost, Squidward.
He's clearly seen something that shocked him. I'm hoping it's not an image of Iron Man. I think this should really be reserved later in the future, maybe when Morgan Stark or Ironheart takes up the mantle. Time should be left between Tony's death. If he can come back as easy as that, then death is almost meaningless. This has been an issue in the MCU for a while now. Deaths are rarely permanent. I'm hoping this one will be. Non-permanent deaths have left me not being invested in fights, feeling that there are no stakes. This is something that was implemented perfectly in Infinity War. Loki is killed, and Thanos says,
No resurrections this time.
literally talking to the audience. The deaths in this film will be permanent, besides obviously the snapped ones. Now up until Endgame this felt true, however I left the cinema disappointed. Gamora has returned, and a hint towards Loki returning as well, when he teleported away, seemingly creating an alternate timeline where he doesn't die. I feel Endgame retconned a lot of the stakes and emotional tension that Infinity War had set up. I left the theatre thinking that it was too easy. Well yeah, the third act was good, but the first two were embarrassing. But that's a video for the future. This brings me on to my next point, the snap. Obviously Peter's friends were snapped too, hence why they're all the same age, which in itself is lazy, but I can get around that. Now being turned to dust is a pretty big deal. Life changing in fact. I hope they don't just shade over this point, just mention it in passing. This should be a huge undertone in the film. Classmates of age, older family members and friends may have died. Maybe even Delmar, the shopkeeper in Homecoming, has passed in the 5 years that have gone. I want something at the beginning of the film that says this is permanent this time. All in all, I am looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home, and hope it employs none of the tropes I'm growing tired of within the MCU. I think the only way it will really work is if Peter has a fighter projection or fake image of Tony in some way. Maybe created by Mysterio, who we all know will be the ultimate villain of the film, or maybe through the Chameleon, who is also rumoured to appear. But when it comes out, look out for my review where I'm sure I will discuss everything I liked and disliked. And thanks for watching, and please leave your opinions below.